We will also finally take care of our great veterans. We've been so loyal, and I've gotten to know so many over this 18-month journey. The time I've spent with them during this campaign has been among my greatest honors. Our veterans are incredible people.
President-elect Donald Trump vowing to improve care for veterans during his victory speech. Many of our military veterans across the country say they're excited about the prospect of Mr. Trump's presidency, saying the president-elect had their vote because he's promising to clean up and reform the Veterans Administration. To talk more about that and his book, which is now in paperback, retired Army Staff Sergeant Travis Mills, author of the book, Tough as They Come. Travis, we visited before. We're glad to have you back on Newsmax Prime. Congratulations on making the transition from hardcover to trade paperback. That means a lot of people want to read your story.
Well, hey, I definitely appreciate that. And, we've just been fortunate. We had great coverage from you last time, which really pushed the ball forward for us, and we made the New York Times bestsellers list. And now I'm able to tell my story throughout the nation, speaking for a living and having a great time with it.
And in the intervening time, one of the stories that has drawn concern is VA health care. Now, it is true that there are some remarkable cases create a commission to investigate fraud, cover up and wrongdoing, increase the number of mental health care professionals, and ensure every veteran has the choice to seek care at the VA or at a private service provider. Just want to ask you this, Travis, how do those goals sound to you, and do you agree with the president-elect's plan?
I think he's got a pretty good plan he set forward. I think we're going to be very excited to have this go into play. But for me personally, the VA that I go to in Maine, it's the oldest VA in the nation, Togus, and the care there is phenomenal. So as much as I can feel for the people going through the trials and errors at their VAs, or they go and you see all these horrible stories come out from, I'm very thankful that my VA takes care of me. When I give them a call and say, hey, I'm going to come in, they say not a problem, and we go get it done. But I think it's nice that you can pick your provider. I think it's going to be good so that we get the people that work there motivated to do their job the right way. And we will stop seeing all these stories come out about people not getting the right care at the right time and just not getting into the doctors for months and months on end.
You know, back when I was in the House, I actually took a position on the Veterans Affairs Committee because my fellow Arizonan, Bob Stump, who was a World War II veteran from the South Pacific, he said, look, I need you on this committee. Of course, we both served with Newt Gingrich, who was Speaker back then. And earlier this week, Newt appeared on Fox News Radio saying he wanted to become a type of chief planner for the new president. And one of his real concerns had to do with veterans' health care and reforming the VA. Here's what the former speaker had to say.
I'd like to be the chief planner. And I'd like to look at how do you transform the Veterans Administration? How do you profoundly improve our approach to national security? What do you have to do to have a long-term health system that is actually better, more convenient, more productive, and less expensive?
Travis, even taking into account the good care you get there in Maine, to see that same good care replicated across the country, do the comments of former Speaker Gingrich line up showing you that for Mr. Trump and the incoming administration, veterans are top of mind?
I think it does, absolutely. And you know what? His point about making more mental health available to people that need it is very important. We know that there's a lot of people that have cases of PTSD or going through some things, and the suicide rates for this veterans are so high right now that we need to make sure that we push mental health out there and let people know it's okay to go talk to them. Now, personally, for me, I'm very fortunate. I don't suffer from PTSD. There's no traumatic brain injury and things like that. But I do know that I wasn't comfortable talking to mental health. I wasn't going to go reach out and talk with mental health because they wouldn't understand what I'd been through. And I was very fortunate at Walter Reed to have a coping mechanism with all the other guys there, and we all went through our own therapy in our own way, talking about our experiences. But for those people sitting at home that need this help, our veterans out there that really, really could use a therapist to talk to get past whatever is holding them up in life and keeping them back from doing great things, I think it's a great plan. And I think that a lot of things that Donald Trump says align with the VA and the veterans, and the veterans are just very excited about the possibilities that are coming their way.
As you were talking about PTSD and mental health care, you know, the unfortunate fact is that 20 veterans a day commit suicide. Indeed, it's been referred to as a suicide epidemic. So actor Martin Sheen has teamed up with the National Veterans Federation to offer more awareness, and here is their latest public service announcement. Let's look and listen.
I suffer constant pain,
guilt,
and misery. This is not a note of sorrow.
Not today.
Not in this note.
Today in this note, I'm thanking you.
Thank you for helping me.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking to me, praying for me.
You gave me back everything.
Such a simple thing.
It's because of you I'm not writing that other note.
Let's stop the veteran suicide epidemic.
So we see this cuts across party lines, and of course, the men and women in uniform, the veterans we honor on this Veterans Day, what they have is insignia denoting the United States, not a particular political party. But I was very interested, and of course you write some about it in your book, the very personal approach you took in talking things out with other veterans and other people. That, in essence, was your therapy. Any advice for people still dealing with this that you have in your book or that you'd like to share right now during our time together in this conversation?
I mean, I'm very fortunate that my book does cover how I went with my injuries and how I got through them. I had my wife to talk to. I had other guys go through the same situations. I was a person that would go to each room and meet everybody that was new coming in and have a conversation saying, hey, it's going to get better. Don't worry about it. But if you're at home and you're a veteran and you're having these problems, reach out to somebody. I mean, I was unfortunately on the end of a call where a guy was reaching out for help, and I tried reaching back. I said all the right things. I did all the training I was taught for peer mentoring or peer counseling. And you know what? At the end of the day, he said it wasn't what he was calling for. He said, that's not what my problem is. And we went on with it. And later on, he ended up shooting himself. He lived through it, fortunately. But I just think it's important for us to, as a society, reach out to the veterans, let them know it's okay to talk about what happened over there and what they did, and that they shouldn't let just one day or 1 week over there ruin the rest of their lives. I do a lot of counseling where I tell them, think about the men and women that lost their lives for this great country. The reason I'm so positive and I'm able to go on is because I have the ability to remember that my buddies have lost their lives. There's daughters that I know and sons that I know without their fathers, wives without their husbands, and parents of these soldiers that will never talk to them again. And I take my daughter out to little dinner dates, and my wife and I go on our movie dates, and my mom and dad talk to them on a regular basis. So I'm very thankful for that. But as far as the PTSD and as far as the suicide rates, I just think you have to reach your hand out and you just have to say, hey, let's talk about it. And a big thing I would say is for veterans out there that want to get into the business of being a mental health provider, you're the best resource we can have, because a lot of people I would talk to, they always say, I'm not going to talk to somebody that has not been there, that does not know what I'm going through. But if anyone's out there having problems, don't give up. Just never give up and never quit. That's kind of my saying, and I hope you get better and reach out and really have a honest conversation with people that can do some help in your world.
A little more than a minute remains. We need to bring it back to your book, Tough as They Come. You're one of only a few people who survived as a quadruple amputee. And you write about this in a personal way. You don't sugarcoat it, but it's very, very positive. As you reflect back on writing your book, Tough as They Come, now with the transition into paperback, what do you want readers to get from your story?
I want people to see that, life goes on, be resilient. Everybody can find out more about me at travismills.org. I have a foundation that I run where I bring people in and we just try to give back as much as we can. And you know what? I had one bad day at work, and cases of Mondays, as I say, because I live in a nation that takes care of me It's the greatest nation in the world, and I'm able to take my daughter out, my wife out, call my parents, and still be here and live life to the fullest. So if you're having a rough go, whether you're a civilian or you're a veteran or in the military, pick the book up, check it out, and see what you think. It should have you laughing, crying, angry at some parts, and happy at others, and you just should really enjoy the book and take it all in for what it's there for.
Travis Mills, author of the book Tough as They Come, now available in paperback. Again, read more about him before you pick up the book at travismills.org. Travis, we very much appreciate your time. It's an honor to speak with you, sir. Hope you're having and realizing and counting your blessings here on this Veterans Day. We thank you for your service.
Thank you for having me. Have a great night.
We will be back with more right after this.